Hey, welcome back to High Performance Health and Wellness Coaching. I'm Coach Corey. This is Miss Austin right here, my lovely wife.
Hello.
We are here together today to go over some meal planning. Now, typically we are at our kitchen table with a nice little notepad and the book to go over our meals. But today we want to show you on these nice big papers of what we do every week, right? Take it away.
Oh, already. Goodness. So, start of the year, January 1, although this is actually technically the 7th, we wanted to walk you through, like he said, how we do our meal plans week over week. So this is a Sunday ritual, Saturday ritual, because we do a lot of food prep on Sunday to get ready for all of this for the week, to make it as easy peasy as we can. So it was a reminder to ourselves to do the daily intermittent fasting. We got a little off track with that, and we're skipping some days, all that good stuff. But according to Bulletproof, intermittent fasting plan is about 16 to 18 hours after you have dinner, you have your next meal. So for us, breakfast is always a Bulletproof coffee, and then we're not really eating lunch, until maybe about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But believe it or not, once you get in that groove, once you get past the first couple of weeks of that plan, it's really easy to do, believe it or not. The sugar cravings go away, and that drive of I'm having that 2 o'clock crash goes away too. So I'll walk you through our plan. That's why you only see lunch and dinner, again, because breakfast is Bulletproof coffee. But we go through each one, and so like taco salad, we'll pull it from the Bulletproof diet book, and we mark the page on it. So easily we know where to go back to find the recipe for the evening. So taco salad. For dinner, we'll do a roast, again, grass-fed beef with Brussels sprouts, and that's another recipe that's in the book, so we mark the page, make it easy for us, take all the guesswork, all the brain work out of it, because we know, the weeknights get nutty. When you've got 2 full-time jobs, 2 kids that are always running around, everybody gets off from work, off from school, everyone's starving, so doing as much as you can ahead of time. Chaos. So we go through each week. You see a lot of leftovers on here. That was purposeful. When we first started this, we were doing a brand new recipe every single meal, and it was just too much. It was time intensive, and it was really cost prohibitive, I'll say. So when we started using leftovers and carrying that over day to day, it helped out a ton, helped reduce our budget and make things easier. So you'll see taco salad for lunch, and then we'll pack it for the next day for Tuesday's lunch, for example. Or Bulletproof meatballs, we'll pack them the next day for lunch. Made it definitely easier for us. So,
Let me move on over. I'm going to follow. I'm trying to follow. Here we go. Following.
Okay. So Friday always becomes our cleanup day. What do we have left over in the refrigerator that we can eat up?
Leftovers.
Leftovers.
We love them.
Become one with leftovers. Be
Yes.
okay with it. He was not when we first started dating, and now is a leftover lover.
Leftovers equal cha-ching, because the budget helps it out
It helps
tremendously.
out a ton. So that's why you see a cleanup day for us. It's what we do, just kind of what's in the refrigerator, what is it that we need to eat.
Yep.
It's a lot of produce, it's a lot of non-preservative foods, so what's going to go bad that we need to make sure that we don't lose is really important too. And then the same thing carries through, but you also see a protein fast day. So about every 6th day, we skip proteins for the day. Really heavy vegetables, and a big focus on that. Another way to detox, which makes you feel great. And actually, it makes you feel good. The evening of and the next couple of days after a protein fast, I definitely noticed a big difference in how I felt.
Definitely.
So we do a reminder of what that is.
Also, when we first started this thing, guys, our palates were like, we were eating all kinds of junk food. So we went out the book and we're like, oh, smoked salmon with some avocado sounds fantastic. This is going to be great. So let's give it a shot, right? Yeah, so our palate wasn't quite ready, or the textures, everything wasn't quite ready for this little party that was happening, right? So we didn't care for that too much. So don't get discouraged if you come across something that doesn't quite fit. It will. The longer you stay with this stuff, now we crave it, now we love that stuff. But at first it was like, what are we doing? This is kind of wild. And you're looking at it going, whoa, what's happening here, right? So just remember that, keep trying it. Even some of the recipes we tried, we didn't like, we just didn't go back to because we just didn't care for them at all. So there's always something else out there, right? So don't give up, okay?
But yeah, be adventurous. New flavors, new foods. We were introduced to a lot of new stuff, for sure.
Also, kids, they eat everything we eat, right? They have no choice because they're our kids, so they're going to eat what we eat. That's just all there is to it. We still give them things that we won't have. Like once in a while, we'll try to make a homemade pizza and have some things. And they have cheese. They have certain snacks and stuff that we don't really eat anymore because it doesn't react well to our biology. But they do eat the same dinners we eat. So they'll eat the fish, they'll eat the smoked salmon. We send smoked salmon for lunch. They love it, right? Cooper loves avocados. He chows those things down. Ava doesn't care for them so much, so we just kind of we get sneaky and throw them in the smoothie, right? And so they're in our smoothie, so she's still getting good fat. And like we recorded earlier, you'll probably see is the fat bombs. We made some fat bombs to sit with their lunch, and they're really good snacks for them. Good, healthy, good stuff, right? So.
Speaking of which, they're actually getting into it next door. So if you hear that, they're okay. We are good parents, and they're not in any harm's way. They're just a brother and sister doing what brothers and sisters do.
It's what it is, chaos and fighting.
Yeah. So,
okay.
All of this, we kind of think about what do we want to eat for the week. And this is what we come up with as our menu. As we're going through each of those recipes, we take that over to our grocery list, the dreaded grocery list. So... Pause.
Let me move. Okay.
A little bit of an edit. We had to handle the kids' stuff.
Yeah, some kid drama. Here we go.
So snacks, I think, is an important section. Like here we have olives, macadamia nuts, dark chocolate. We get 80% or better. It's kind of where our palates are now, and the kids too, which is great. Yeah. Coconut butter has been a really great go-to for me if I have a sweet tooth or feel kind of hungry and I realize I haven't had enough fat in the day. So I'll do a little bit of that. But I'll say too, we also throw in other foods, like what makes the kids feel normal, so to speak, at lunch. Maybe we'll find some potato chips or some sweet potato chips, but we're talking like 3-ingredient potato chips, not like the litany of things that you can't pronounce. So we're talking a potato, a sea salt, and olive oil, and that's it. So something along those lines.
And they have some really good grain-free chips, because we're for the most part we're a grain-free family. We don't eat much of that at all. So to even introduce them into something as extreme as just a regular Lay's chip would probably really upset their stomach. So we kind of keep them on course with, like she said, just there's chips out there that have 3 ingredients. It's the potato, it's the sea salt, and it's the coconut oil or the olive oil. The olive oil or avocado oil, right? So it's really just keeping the least amount of ingredients in the food, and they feel normal, right? They go to school, they open up their bag of chips, and they're good, right? So they feel like they're part of something, and they don't know that it's really good, better for them, right?
Yep. So the rest of it, protein. So grass-fed beef, I guess think about the sources of bacon, sources of eggs, that they are coming from sources that aren't overfed with corn, for example, because what they eat, you eat that, you're eating what they ate. Kind of think about it that way. So if you are trying to avoid corn, then don't eat pork that is corn-fed. Don't eat chickens or eggs that have been coming from corn-fed animals. So keep that in mind. Yes. Properly sourced fish, salmon's a big go-to for us, and then bone broth is on there as well. Bone broth, especially if you're having trouble with fasting, is a really great way to satiate your appetite. Always something to go to. And then miscellaneous. On this miscellaneous list, we have a lot of our herbs, spices, things like almond butter, ginger, chili powder, all the pieces and parts that may go into some of these recipes. It's actually great because this isn't going to be something that you buy week over week. It's a one-time purchase until you run out. So we'll get organic dried oregano. We'll get organic turmeric, and that too. Organic turmeric. We get our sea salt, and again, we don't have to buy it every week. It's just it'll last for a month or something like that, depending on how many times we use it.
Yep.
So like he said, this is our ritual. We tend to do, not we, I can't take credit. He does the grocery shopping on Thursdays. We do all the food prep on Sundays. That means cutting up all the vegetables, bagging stuff separate. What are we doing for lunches?
Kids' lunches.
Is the meat thawed out that needs to be? And so that way, like we were just saying before, when the weeknights get crazy, and they do for everybody, we don't have to come in and go, oh my gosh, what are we going to do for dinner? It's already decided for us. It's already mapped out, and we've already prepped the food ahead of time. So it's instead of trying to cut things up and clean things, it's clean, it's prepped, it's ready to go. Grab it from the fridge and go from there.
I'll give you kind of an idea. So the shopping is what it is. Just look for the best ingredients. But the prep time, let's say on a Saturday or Sunday, like you said, we do it. I don't know, it takes us maybe 2 hours, right? To cook everything properly and prep it, it's 2 hours. But what that does during the week is it saves us from time that I start cooking to table, it might be like 20 minutes of time. So it's really not, it does save a tremendous amount of time, a little bit on the weekend, just wake up a little earlier, just put a little more effort into it, right? That's all it takes. Hey, we're back! Kid drama! School starts tomorrow. Love it, get back to school. Okay, anyway, so let me get back to it. So, the budget, right? So now, where we're at is we spend roughly about $300 a week right? And we buy the best quality foods we can. And if we have to go heavy with some of the like miscellaneous stuff, the herbs, and say we go heavier with a protein that's a little more expensive, then we just pick a vegetable that is going to be a little bit less. Maybe go heavy salad that week is a little cheaper. So it kind of balances. You'll get used to it the more you get. It just becomes second nature, right? So before our new life, we used to spend probably roughly $250 a week on trash foods that we ate. All the trashiest stuff the first 2 days, like the chips and the cookies and the garbage, would be gone fast. And then we're like all slopped out, lazy, getting home from work, going, "Oh, let's order out pizza." And we're on the phone. Hey, guys, what do you want for dinner? I don't know. Let's do Chinese again. Oh, okay, Chinese again, because it's so much easier, right? And it tastes good, and it feels wonderful. But then we're all 40 pounds heavier and not feeling great, right? So that's where we were. So if you just focus on whatever your budget is and you steer that the correct way, you guys can make all this food last, feel healthier, feel amazing. You're not wasting any food. You're saving money. We actually probably save money because we spent more money eating out. So on top of that $250, we probably drop another $150 a week on food, not counting like going out on weekends or anything. So it's just what it is, right, guys? So this is the menu plan. We sit down and we do this every week, just about. As much as possible, we do it together. Sometimes one of us will do it if the other one's doing something with the kids. But just take charge of it, plan out the meals, get organized grocery list, shop just what's on the list. Don't veer off of it, and don't grab for that thing you used to grab for. You got to clean it all out, and just keep rocking it out. Right? You have any other tips for the world out here?
No, I guess to kind of reiterate what he was saying about the food budget. So we've told some of our family and friends that we spend $300 a week on groceries, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's insanity." But when you think about it, what you may be spending on groceries now, plus whatever you're doing on top of that, like going out to eat or doing takeout, what have you, you may not be that far off. But now it's a matter of investing your money where you really want to see a result.
Right.
You can put money into other things that may not give you the return that this has. And so I would definitely encourage you to not think about it cringeworthy, but think about it worthy of your new lifestyle.
Yeah, and our food budget used to be a little bit more expensive because we were eating more proteins, more quality, like just more protein. So because of the autoimmune issues, we've eliminated some of the proteins out of our diet to help with inflammation, which has actually helped. So like mostly it's just fish. We eat some lamb, things like that. So we plan around it, but it's not as much as it was. So we actually save a little bit, and we feel great, guys. So keep it up, right? Thanks for watching. I love my wife. My kids were cooking some. Actually, they were making some fat bombs earlier, which you'll see that too, which is pretty cool. Little handy treats for the kids and for us too. Guys, thanks a lot. Subscribe, please. Keep following, and hopefully you'll see more of this beautiful lady here in this thing rocking it out with me. Okay, guys.
Thanks,
Take care.
guys.
See ya.